Hi guys, welcome to another exciting episode on the Wolfman Chronicles channel. My name is Louis Strauss. I'm your host on this channel, and as my subscribers know, and for those who've been jumping on and off and trying to see what this channel is all about, I think you guys know by now I'm kind of like the crazy guy from the movie 2012, sitting in his van with a big satellite dish, trying to shout out Woody Harrison, trying to shout out that the world is coming to an end and you better listen. I'm not like Alex Jones sitting in a bunker, okay? I'm just I'm just sitting in my room. I have a cup of coffee, and also I have my little dog Amigo sleeping behind me on the bed. So if he wakes up and you hear him bark, just ignore it. And I hope you guys enjoy this this little video that I'm going to do, this little presentation. It is called Timeline for the Coming Apocalypse. It's basically packed with information, packed with very good data, and it gives you some sort of eye view, of where we are, what's been going on, and where we're going to, and how many people, especially from mega churches, will say no one knows when Jesus is coming, not even the angels in heaven. But we're going to look at it from a biblical view, what it actually says, okay? Because that's the only way you will find out the truth, is if you sit down and you study these things yourself, and you don't listen to people who's been doing Chinese whispers for hundreds of years. All right, so yeah, once again, welcome to my channel. If you like the content, like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So there will be a few slides before we get to the full timeline, and the first slide that we are going to start off with, as you can see here, it's got a date, 1st of May 1776, up to now, where we are in the year 2021. All right, and underneath that you will see some Roman numbers: MDCCLXXVI. Okay, and then for you who are in America, and some people who have worked with the $1 bill, American bill, they will know these markings. And I've got a little picture underneath there with the pyramid, the all-seeing eye. And right on the bottom steps, you will find those markings, MDCCLXXVI. Just also a side note, I put there times 13 steps equals destruction, and we will kind of get to that. It's basically just if you count the steps on the pyramid, there's 13 of them, and if you Google Strong's 13 in accordance, you will find it actually says destruction. Also on the bottom we have a little banner, Novus Ordo Seclorum, which is Latin, and in the translation therefore is a new order of ages. Okay, so remember guys, in my previous video I have spoken about a timeline of a fifth age, and this is the age we are in right now, the fifth age. It's basically, you can find this also in the book of Daniel with King Nebuchadnezzar, where Daniel had to basically consult the king because the king's wise men or witch doctors, they couldn't how can I say, they couldn't tell the king what dream he had and what the dream meant, but Daniel could. And we'll do a study about that some other time. But in the dream, it's basically about this image of a human with different minerals, and then the feet is iron mixed with clay. All right, and it says that's a short age. So that is basically the fifth age, folks. That is where we are now. Okay, so from the 1st of May 1776, and I'm going to show you how we got that date. That was the beginning of the so-called New World Order. So it's been running for a long time, and the mark of the beast has also been in for a long time, and people have been taking it. It's just that the mark of the beast has not been lawfully enforced yet, as you can see on the timeline marker there. Okay, so before we get to that timeline marker of 3.5 years, I just want to show you the Novus Ordo Seclorum, the new order of ages, how we got to that date, 1776. And I'll jump to the next slide here for the bill. On the top left corner, I've put the Roman numbers for you, 1 to 1,000. Okay, I as 1, M as 1,000. And then you can see them all going down there, and if you add them up, you get to 1776. And I wrote there NWO, which is New World Order, creation date. So then we took some of the letters, and you can see on the right hand side I have colored it, some white and some red, and the ones in red like DC, LX and VI, they stand together, and when you calculate them, the first two, DC is 500 and 100 equals 600, then LX 50 and 10 equals 60. Okay, in the Bible it is called 3 score, which means 3 20s. Then on the bottom, VI 5 and 1 equals 6. You get the number then 666, 600 and 666. So I'll read for you from Revelation 13 verse 18. Here is wisdom. So this is for those who will have the interest in trying to find out what is the number of the beast and who is the number of the beast. And this is the knowledge bit. Those who want to have wisdom, those who want to have the knowledge, who are interested in this study. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding, and I underlined, count the number. And that is exactly what we did there. We counted the Roman numbers of the beast. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, 3 score and 6. Remember I showed you 3 score? 1 score is 20, so 3 20s. There you go, 60, LX. All right. So that is what we did. We counted them. We come to this date, this year, 1776. And as you look on the top right corner, I've put there I equals 1, which is the bottom, the bottom or the last two in the Roman numbers on the $1 bill. I is 1, V equals 5. So I is the first day of a month, and V is the 5th month of a year, May. So if you put it all together, it is 1st May 1776. But if you read it backwards from the Roman numbers, you get May 1st 1776. It's the same thing. So that's basically how we counted the number of the beast. Okay, and it says that this is the number of a man, so we're going to get to this. Okay, it's going to lead up to that, to the Antichrist. But I just wanted to show you how we got 1st May 1776. So we will jump to the next slide here, which is back to, if I can open it. There we go. We will jump back to the next part. So it says 3.5 years, and in brackets 666. And you can see I've got the Mordor all-seeing eye there with Sauron. Because this is the mark of the beast. And this is the time when the evil ones, the wicked ones, the Cabal or the Luciferians, whatever you want to call them, when they finally lawfully enforce the mark. Right now, people have a choice, and since the early 1990s, people have been kind of taking and getting used to this system, and in the 2000s people started taking the microchip, the first RFID mark, because it just makes their life so-called easier. You know, you don't need your car keys now, you don't need passwords and codes and stuff. You just swipe your hand and it's all done for you. But the mark has not been lawfully enforced yet. So once the mark is lawfully enforced, folks, that is when you take the hourglass and you turn the hourglass upside down. That is when the actual time starts running, 3.5 years. So we will read on the bottom there, Revelation 13:16-17. And he causes all men, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And then in red I put the RFID chip, RFID tattoo, RFID barcode. So for those who don't know what RFID is, it's a radio frequency identification device. And that's why our stirred away brother Elon Musk is shooting up all those satellites and stuff there, because they are going to use these satellites to track you. You won't be able to hide anywhere if you've got this mark, if you take the mark. Okay, so this mark, once you take it, just like the scripture says, it'll be for the rich and the poor, free and bond, and it will basically go in your right hand or in the foreheads, and I've put there plus a choice of hand or forehead. So this is the mark of the Antichrist. So you will have a choice, but very soon that choice will be lawfully enforced, where it says if you don't have it, people will start being arrested, people will start being thrown in jails, because you will be seen as some sort of an outcast, you know, someone who's a troublemaker, someone who doesn't want to work with the government and upset the rest of the public. So once the law's been enforced, then exactly 3.5 years that system will run, and that is also how long they'll be taking to mark all the people, okay, to get everybody registered and to get as many as they can on board with this RFID system. Like I said, it can be a microchip, it can be a electronic tattoo, or some sort of electronic barcode, and all these things, no matter where you scan, it will link up with the satellite systems, and it'll be on their data system, so they can follow you wherever you go, wherever you buy, and whatever you do. However, if you don't have that mark, if you say, look, I'm not keen on this system, then you won't be able to put petrol in your car, you won't be able to pay your rent, you won't be able to take your kids to school. They're going to make life very, very difficult for you during that 3.5 years. But in saying that, so while the Luciferians are going around marking their people, the Bible says that this is the same time that God will send his angels to seal his people. So if you, like I said, one of the guys who want to be good, want to be kind, you got to look after yourself, respect your neighbors, respect older people, especially your parents, and you take one step further, like I've been kind of asking you to consider, to invite the Lord into your life, then you will be sealed. And the sealing system will also go 3.5 years, the exact same time frame as the mark of the beast. Okay, so when we get to the end of 3.5 years, you can see I put the picture up there showing a lot of meteors, and we've got an asteroid, and it says 3 to 5 days. So that short time frame will be about 3 to 5 days. Okay, this is when Planet X, Planet Nibiru, the destroyer, comes in. Okay, NASA, never a straight answer, calls it the Goblin. Okay, and they've been on and off about this subject. But anyway, that's when this planet comes basically into our solar system, and it's going to start all sorts of chaos on planet Earth. So for the first 3 to 5 days, there will be massive amounts of bombardments on planet Earth, meteors coming with this planet, all right? Because we have the asteroid belt, we have the asteroid belt. So when this thing comes in, it's going to push a lot of those asteroids in the belt towards Earth. And one of them is going to be a very, very big rock. And I will read there on the timeline, Revelation 8, verse 8. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood. It also says that the third part of the sea, all the fish died, and a third of all the ships that were parked off on the ocean, they all sank. So basically, huge, massive waves of tsunamis will hit the coasts. Many cities will be destroyed. Many islands will be destroyed. So if you're a very wealthy, elite, rich person with some sort of a cruiser yacht or cruiser boat or something, you think you want to flee from all this via ocean to an island, well, I got news for you. You're not going to make it, and you're not going to find any islands because they're all going to be wiped out. And that's only the one big asteroid that will come in and hit the ocean. Then he talks about another one, a second one, and we see it on the top there, Revelation 8, verse 10 to 11. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. So it is very much the same as the first one. Remember the first one, it says burning with fire, all right? Like a mountain burning with fire. Well, this one is very much the same, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the waters, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of this star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. So we're talking about a massive second asteroid that's going to come in, and this one is basically going to hit dry land. It's going to hit the land, and it's going to penetrate the soil of the earth so deep that the radiation coming from this asteroid is going to go into our underwater channel system. For many people who don't know, no matter what country you are, there is a underwater channel system that links all the countries together. They have recently found deep in the ocean that there are underwater freshwater streams. So if you go from the top of the ocean, salt water, and then way down there, all of a sudden you will hit fresh water. And there's been stories that they've had these what do you call these boats, sorry, I'm hitting a blank spot here. Submarines. They've had submarines going down salt water, and when they hit the fresh water, the streams are so much, flowing, so much pressure down there that the submarine will actually bounce back up. All right. And you can find some of these YouTube videos where they show divers who actually get to go down and dive from salt water into the freshwater stream. It's like a whole different world down there. So all the countries are linked up with this underwater pipeline, basically, of fresh water. Okay, and it's called, according to the scriptures here, fountains of waters. All right. So all the fresh water will basically be radiated, poisoned, when this second meteor hits the earth. Okay, now let's see, where are we? Okay, so as for the millions of meteors that are going to hit the earth from the asteroid belt as this planet Nibiru, planet X, comes in, I can read for you Revelation 6 verse 13. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And then we've got another scripture, Mark 13:25. And the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. Because this planet, Nibiru, is estimately about almost 7 times bigger than planet Earth. Okay? And we've been seeing some really strange things already happening up there. Some planets are heating up. Some planets are starting to act strange, because this thing is huge, and as it's coming in, it's like a big bully, and it's just pushing all these other planets and doing all stuff with them. In the scripture, it even talks that when this thing actually comes around near Earth, the Earth will wobble like a drunken man. It says that islands will disappear and mountains will be moved. Now, I've done a really good video just on this planet alone, Planet X, where I basically explain that when Lucifer left heaven, in the area where God is, God's kingdom, when he left there, he didn't leave alone. He took a third of the angels with him, and also some of the extraterrestrials that God created had also decided to side with Lucifer, and they all left and they went to this planet. and this is where their home is. Now remember, planet Nibiru is very much like planet Earth. Like I say, just 7 times bigger. And as you have humans living on Earth, you get different cultures, different races, and not everybody really gets along, but we have to share the same planet. Well, it's very much the same thing with planet Nibiru. You've got all these different races living on this planet, including giants, and they don't all get along with each other. They do make, wars and all sorts of stuff with each other there as well. But at the end, they all basically have a common knowledge that this thing is coming to Earth, and that they're going to have to jump from there to Earth. Like the scripture says, once Lucifer gets beaten with this galactic battle, he has no other place to go but Earth. So Earth will become a refuge for them, and also Earth will become a place of hostage where they will hold the inhabitants of the Earth, us humans. They will hold us hostage, because God's going to destroy Nibiru, but God won't destroy Earth because we are here, and He doesn't want to destroy us, not while these guys are here. So they're going to try and hold Earth hostage. So that is the bit for this timeline. Really interesting, scary, and crazy stuff, but it is what it is. So we're going to jump to the next slide here concerning Nibiru, and I've got this in Job 38:31. Canst thou bind the sweet influence of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? Okay, so God is basically giving some sort of a hint here where this planet is going to come from. So if you look up in the sky and you see those 3 little stars that are together, known as the belt of Orion, well, that is exactly the area what God is talking about. This is where this thing is going to come from, people. It says, or loose the bands of Orion. Okay, so we'll jump to the next slide here for Nibiru as well. Luke 21:25-26. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations. Because once people see, like we're already seeing, things are starting to act really strange up there, people are starting to get stressed out. Why do you think the governments are building these massive bunkers in mountains, and the rich people are trying to flee to New Zealand and all sorts of crazy stuff? With perplexity, the sea and waves roaring. Well, we're already starting to see that. Men's hearts failing them of fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. Okay, we're talking about the double assault. Remember, I told you guys there's going to be a double assault, like it was in the days of Noah. The water came from underneath the earth, and then you had the rain, and then above the rain, another flood came down. So a double assault. But in our timeline, there's going to be this double assault from the locusts coming up. They're going to infect all the people who have the mark of the beast, who will turn kind of like zombies. And then at the same time, this is when Lucifer is going to come down and invade the earth. Okay, so I'll just read that part again for you. Men's hearts failing them of fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So men's hearts failing them out of fear. Some people are going to stand there. They don't know this knowledge, this information that I'm presenting here to you guys. They're going to look at this. They're going to go, what the hell's going on? And many of them are just going to have heart attacks. They're not going to, it's going to be too overwhelmed for them. Okay, and then you're going to have the Christians who's been lied to and taught for so many years about this so-called secret rapture. You know, they're going to stand and think that any time now Jesus is going to come, and like Nicolas Cage is left behind, only your socks and your underpants will stay behind, and you're going to be saved, and the rest of the world are going to be stuck with what's going to happen. Well, this is a surprise for them, because their hearts will fail as well, because there will be no rapture. You know, the Bible says the wicked shall never inhabit the earth. We're all going to go through this. Everybody's going to have to go through the same thing, okay? There is no secret rapture. So men's hearts failing them of fear. This is for those who have been misled. In the Bible, it's called the great falling away. And this is also for those who have no idea of this study. Okay, so we'll jump to the next slide. I think that's about the end of the Nibiru one. And we'll move on. Oh yeah, before we get to the 5 months, I want to read on the bottom for you. This is very important. Revelation 14, 1-4. And this is very, very deep and hard information that you have to deal with. Like I said, we all have a choice, you know. It says in Revelation 14, 1-4, only 144,000 will be sealed. So remember when I said to you guys, the 3.5 years when the Luciferians are going to go out and they're going to brand the people with these RFID chips and stuff. At the same time, God will send his angels to seal his people for 3.5 years. And the number of them will be 144,000. Okay, so that means plus minus 8.5 billion people not sealed. Okay, so those people will be the infected ones. There will be some good people who are good and kind and just trying to be, you know, good humans. But there will also be evil and wicked people, criminals and stuff. Okay, these are the people who are not going to be sealed. And the reason why they're not going to be sealed, the good and the evil ones, is because they simply didn't want to take the mark of the beast, many of them, and also they didn't want to take the seal of God. You know, they still reject him and they still reject his knowledge. This is deep stuff, folks, but I have to put it out. I'm going according to the scriptures here, because that's what this timeline is about. You know, if you want to know, here it is. I'm presenting it. So we'll go to the 5 months, and I've got a picture of a zombie up there, and I'll read next to it, Revelation 9 verse 1. See, plus minus 150 days. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And I put in brackets Lucifer. Lucifer is that star, because it refers on the bottom to him. Okay, so to explain this little passage here, when Lucifer left heaven, when he broken away from God, that's why I call them broken angels. I don't like the word fallen angels, it just doesn't make sense. It's broken. They have broken away from God, they've broken his trust. And I spoke about this in one of my videos with Enoch. So when Lucifer basically broke away from God and his kingdom, he took with him a lot of keys. He stole a lot of keys. He was the light bearer. Kind of see this like a medieval soldier walking with a candle in a castle, and he's got a whole set of keys with him, and his job is to make sure the front door and the back door and the kitchen door and all the other doors are locked. Okay, but he went rogue and he took the keys with him. Well, that's what Satan was. He's the light bearer. He had all these keys, and when he left, he said, "Stuff you, Lord. I'm gonna, stuff you, God. I'm gonna take some of the keys with me, because these keys open doors and gateways." All right. But in this passage, Revelation 9 verse 1, it says here, "Unto the earth and to him was given the key." So this is a key he didn't have. This is a key he did not have. And God actually gave him this key. So God is giving him not just a key, but also the authority to go down and unlock this portal, this gateway, so-called the bottomless pit, where all these things are going to come out. So when these locusts come out, it basically says that the sun will be darkened by the smoke. And in my opinion, from what I understand, this is 5 months, 150 days of basically no sun, total darkness. Like I've said in one of my videos before, put your hand in front of your eyes, close it, hold it there, and then open your eyes. You can't see anything. That's how dark this planet is going to be for 150 days, okay, with these things running around. Revelation 9 verse 5 to 6, "And to them it was given that they should not kill them," it's talking about the humans, "but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when it striketh a man." And remember, I made a very good video about this wasp. This wasp that goes and it looks for a certain type of spider. And when it stings the spider, scientists and whoever, all these guys who study insects, they're saying this is the worst sting in the animal kingdom. So this poor spider, when he got stung, he had an overwhelming burning feeling. And not just that, when he got stung, the wasp laid an egg inside him. And for some time, this spider is going around building his nest, having this egg inside him, all right, still being in pain. And then when the larva hatches and starts eating the spider from the inside out, but it's not eating the vital organs like the heart and the liver and the kidneys, for example. So it wants the spider to live, but then it hatches onto the spider's brain, and it turns the spider into some sort of a zombie spider, where he builds not a normal spider web anymore, but he builds some sort of a cocoon. He builds his own grave. So this is very much similar to what we're looking at here. When these things come out, they don't want to kill the people. Okay, they're going to sting the people. It says that people are going to be in so much pain, and that they're going to actually have also boils, very much like it was in the bubonic plague, okay, Black Death. They're going to have these boils on them, but this time they're not going to die. So the question is, that I'm asking is, these 150 days, these 5 months, when these things are actually stinging the people and people are running around cannibalistic like zombies because they're now being controlled by these demonic entities inside them, are they going to hatch after 150 days, after 5 months? Are they going to hatch some sort of a creature? Is something very bad going to come out from these people? I'm just asking the question, because for me, this is very much like the wasp story. You understand? Okay, so moving on. Number 6, verse 6. "And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them." Folks, there is no passage in the Bible that describes a zombie apocalypse better than that one. Okay, men shall seek death, which means you're going to try and kill yourself, but you won't be able to do it. Your consciousness will be there, but you're going to be controlled by this demonic entities inside you, that's been injected into you like a vaccination from these demon things that are going to come out of the pit, and they are going to be in control of you. And I told you who these demon things are that are going to be inside. They are called the Raphaim. Remember, I made a very good video about it, that only 10% came out and the rest of them were left in the earth, in the bottomless pit. Well, this is when Lucifer comes. He unlocks the pit, and then the rest of the Raphaims come out, and they will go into the people, and people are going to be cannibalistic, superhuman strength. Wow, just and fast. Don't think they're going to be like the Walking Dead series, where they're very slow and you just, take your time and you can put a bullet in their head so you get a good aim. No, these things are going to be fast, very, very fast, and very strong. That's why I've given you the guidelines in my video called How to Survive 5 Months of Hell. You really need to go and watch that video. It gives you the guidelines. It tells you that you should not leave your house. All right? You should not leave your house. And I kind of covered a little bit of that in this video. So we're going to the top there. Revelation 9 verse 2. And he opened the bottomless pit. This is Lucifer. And there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of this pit. All right, so we talked about this. The sun will be darkened, and I have a suspicion this is going to be for a very long time. So get your candles ready and get your torches ready. All right, no generators. You don't want to make a noise. All right, Matthew 24. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. So in verse 17, it's basically kind of aiming towards the days where we are right now, where people don't just live in homes, but also in high-rise apartments. Okay, there's a zombie movie on Netflix. It's really good. It's a Korean one, where this guy is on a high-rise building, living in an apartment, and he's stuck there. He can't go up and he can't go down. These things are everywhere, all right? In verse 18, it's basically telling you no time to travel, okay? It says there, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. So there's no time to travel. And that's why I made that video for the 1%, the elite, the ones who think that they can buy everything and flee to New Zealand especially. There's no time for you to get to your plane, buddy. You're not going to make it. All right. Verse 19, it talks about the women who are pregnant and women who have babies. Okay. It says, woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. Talking about pregnant women and babies. Folks, it's going to be a very, very... Look, I made it very clear so many times in my videos. If you think the days of Noah was bad, where people were flooded, ground to pieces by the debris, eaten by sharks and crocodiles in the flood, the great flood of Noah, if you think that was bad, times that by 10. Because this is the stuff we're looking at here. I'm sorry to be the one to give you the bad news, but this is what we're looking at here. So we're moving on to the next clip. All right. My name is Louis Strauss, and I want to welcome you to the Wolfman Chronicles channel, and we're looking at timeline for the coming apocalypse. So after we've done the 5 months of basically hell on earth with planet Nibiru and all that stuff, then comes another timeline of 3.5 years. So this is the time when it says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, for, you know, Satan, the dragon, the serpent, whatever, has come down to you. All right, this is the time when Lucifer loses the galactic battle up there in space, and he's going to have to jump planets. He's going to have to jump from the Nibiru to here. And folks, it's not going to be 200 of them. It's going to be at least millions of them. I'm just telling you. So Revelation 3.5 years, Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. See, I told you guys. Ye that dwell in them. I told you guys. We are not alone. There are many extraterrestrials out there. Some good, some bad. Some living on different planets. Okay. So we're talking here about the guys that are in heaven, and they are rejoicing. They are happy. Because finally, Lucifer is going to get kicked out. He's got no more else to go and hide. And he doesn't have the military strength to basically torment these other guys anymore, because he lost the war. It's kind of like Battlestar Galactica, you know, or Star Wars, whatever. He's kind of lost the battle up there, and he's going to come to Earth. So here we look at the next part. It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, and I underlined it with green because that's us. And of the sea. Oh wow. So it talks again, like I've seen in my videos before. There are beings that living in the sea, deep in the sea. We have mermaids. Okay, you just got to deal with it. There's mermaids, and there's also extraterrestrials that are good guys that live here on planet Earth with us, and they are in the sea. We just had a video released from the Pentagon, from one of these battleships we have, showing these UFOs diving in and out of the sea. Okay, so woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And again, a short time. I've explained it to you guys. The iron mixed with clay from the book of Daniel. It is a very short time frame when all these things are going to happen. So at the end of this time frame, I basically put the word days, a question mark, and then the great war of Armageddon. Okay, so we'll go down and read Revelation 20 now, 1 to 2. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. All right. And he laid hold on the dragon. So this is one of the good angels. That old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. All right. So at the end, the very end of the 3.5 years timeline, okay, there will be this war on planet Earth. This is basically when the good guys come in, like a robbery. You know, bad guys go in, the robbers, they rob the bank and they hold people in the bank hostage. And then the police turn up with the SWAT team. The good guys are coming and they're saying, right, we're going to make a plan. We're going to charge in, and we're going to get rid of the bad guys. So this is what's happening here. So now God is bringing the fight to Lucifer with his angels and his good, his good beings. And they're going to come into Earth. There's going to be this great battle called the Battle of Armageddon. We don't know how many days that's going to be. You know, it could be 5 days, could be a week, could be a month. I don't know. But it says in the end, they will capture Lucifer, the devil, Satan. They will capture him, and he's going to go to jail. This place called, again, the bottomless pit. So he went in, given the keys, let these things out, started his little 3.5 years of enslaving human beings and killing human beings and having his sports by, like I said, draw a circle, throw a few humans in there and let the werewolves loose. At the end of that time, that's when God comes in with his army, and they kick the crap out of Lucifer and then put him back in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. And I made a marker up there, the marker of Matthew 24, 35, verse 36. So 24 verse 35, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So at that marker, folks, that I put up there, that is the day when only God knows, when both the heaven and the earth will be destroyed and a new one will be made, and the angels and no man will know. So a lot of Christian churches like to take this passage and twist it upside down and say, oh, nobody knows, not even the angels know when Jesus is coming. But I'm going to prove them wrong, okay? Because in this channel is the only channel that is actually the ark, okay? You're either on the boat or you're not on the boat, okay? You either have the information or you don't. And I'm giving the information to you here right now. And we're looking at the top right corner. There's a picture of the new earth, the new heaven. And this is what was written by John in Revelation. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea, no sun, no moon. Okay, so again, Matthew 24:35, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So only God knows when he's going to totally destroy earth and totally get rid of the sea, get rid of the sun, and get rid of the moon. Okay, there'll be no sea, no sun, no moon. All right, and then it will be the end of the 1,000 years. Then that's the point when the new Jerusalem will come down, the new great city. All right. So I made a few marking points on the bottom here. Number 1, no secret rapture. Sorry, Nicolas Cage, with your movie Left Behind. The return of our Lord is no secret, because the Bible says everyone will see him come from the heavens, and it also says every knee shall bow. So at the end of all this chaos, if there's only 100,000, or let's say a bit more than that, I hope, I really hope, if there's about 500,000 people left on planet Earth after all this chaos, whether you have the seal of God or you by some lucky chance you survive all that, you will see him come, and it says every knee shall bow. Okay, everyone will bow on that day. So there's no secret rapture. Your socks and your underpants are not going to get left behind. Everybody will see him come. Number 2, the angels know when to blow the trumpets. And I've put it here next to it, Matthew 24, verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So the angels know. There's no secret. Okay, they're standing ready with their trumpets. They're just waiting on the command. So they basically all know when they have to go and, collect the people at the end of the war. Number 3, There are no secrets withheld from God to the angels or his people. And I refer to the timeline. Well, I'm just showing you the timeline here now, so we know exactly how long these things are going to take place. We've got the 5 months, we've got the 3.5 years that the beast system is going to run. We've got the 3.5 years that the invasion is going to run. We know it all. There's no secret, okay? Point number 4. Only after 1,000 years, heaven and earth will be destroyed, and a new heaven and earth will be created. But of that day, no one will know, only God. Do you understand it now? So we know exactly when Jesus is going to come. I'm going to show you guys. It's just we don't have a set date, but we have some sort of a time frame we can work with. But in this passage, when the sun and the moon and the sea and the whole earth and the first heaven, which is the clouds, are going to be destroyed, of that day nobody knows, not even the angels. Okay, so let's jump back to the next slide. Armageddon with the question mark. So we don't know how long that's going to be. I've just explained Matthew 24:35 to 36 for you guys. And now we're looking at the next time frame that says 1,000 years. Earth will rest. So for 1,000 years, as we've read on the bottom, Lucifer will be put under lock and key and chains in the bottomless pit. He won't be allowed to come out. There will be no one left on earth, no souls. Everyone will either be dead or gone. Okay. So for God, 1,000 years is like one heavenly day. So basically, the 144,000 people that were sealed at the beginning of the 1,000 years, they will go up. It will be no secret. They will go up to be with God, and they're going to be there one day, basically, in heaven. All right? But the earth will lay rest for 1,000 years. So for 1,000 years, all those that by some chance did survive the chaos on planet Earth, who did not have the seal, that is when they all go to sleep, they all die, and Earth will be renewed. This is when God's going to recreate Earth. And this will be an Earth without the sun, without the moon, and as we've read, without the sea. All right? Very important data for you right there. Okay. So I'm going to try and open up slide 4. There we go. Slide 4 is the ultimate slide. This is the whole freaking timeline for you guys. It took me a whole day to do all this. All right. So timeline for the coming apocalypse. We have the first set of years, 666, the mark of the beast. This is when the hourglass get turned upside down, when the 3.5 years starts, when it is law, when they make it law to take the mark, which is again the RFID microchip or the tattoo. You know, this is when it becomes basically law. So the moment you hear mainstream news, Fox News, CNN, Al Jazeera, all those guys, because they are the voice for the New World Order. Once you start hearing those guys reporting on people being thrown in jail, people being arrested, and in some extreme countries like Africa and the Middle East, people being beheaded for not taking this so-called mark, that is when you turn the hourglass upside down and you start the 3.5 years. Okay, that is when you have basically 3.5 years to prepare yourself for wormwood, for the 5 months of the zombie apocalypse, and then the 3.5 years when Lucifer comes down to invade planet Earth and to hold planet Earth hostage. Then we have an unknown set of days for Armageddon, and then after that it'll basically be it'll be the so-called end of the world. This is when Lucifer goes down to the pit for 1,000 years, and 144,000 chosen ones, the sealed ones, they go up to be with God. And then after the 1,000 years, Lucifer will be released for a short season. I don't know how long that season is, but basically the story is that is when the New Jerusalem will come down and Lucifer will be unleashed. He will come out of the bottomless pit. He will round his souls up to people who did not go with the 144,000. They will surround this new paradise, this New Jerusalem. Satan will once again mislead them, these souls, and he will convince them to attack the New Jerusalem. It says in the Bible that their numbers is as the numbers of sand on a beach. So that's a lot. And just before they do that, basically God will send, as you can see there in the middle, fire from heaven. He's going to burn them all up, and that'll be the end of it. Okay, and then we will have this new paradise. And again, Revelation on the top, Revelation 21:23, and the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon, to shine in it, for the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. All right, we've covered that. I've showed you guys. So there'll be no need for a sun, there'll be no need for a moon, and also there will be no sea. The ocean will be gone. So there'll be a lot of land. Revelation 21 verse 1 on the bottom. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. All right? No sea, no sun, no moon. And this is basically going to stay like that forever and ever and ever and ever for, I don't know, eternity, apparently, you know. And there'll be no more sadness, no more wars, no more, you know, no more politics, no more of any of that stuff. It's going to be a perfect paradise, definitely the place you want to be in. Because it does talk about another realm called the Great Lake of Fire. And a lot of people call it hell, but it's not. Hell is basically the bottomless pit. That is where all those locusts and things are, all right? There's nobody there in hell. The Lake of Fire is the end game. That is where those souls that are going to get burned up, and Lucifer, that is where they're going to be cast into. And basically the Lake of Fire is like a huge lake that is the water, the fire, the brimstone, you know, fire, brimstone, whatever, the lava is constantly moving, which means it's always heated. Okay, there's no spot where you think, oh, it's going to be a little bit cooler here than at other spots. No, it says that there'll be I said it on the bottom here, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay, you don't want to go there. Trust me. You want to get the seal. You want to be on the ark. You want to be the one of the 144,000 out of the 9 billion people that we are currently. All right. So that is that when it comes to the Great Lake of Fire and brimstone. So I've put a little extra bit for you guys because I wanted to show you guys a little bit more about the Antichrist, and I've made a video on the languages that they use, and we're going to look here at the Obama and the logo and all that. And I'll read from the top there. The simulation took place on January 19, 2009. one day before the inauguration of President Obama. Okay, and you can read the rest up there, how he was on a donkey, and basically Obama was made out of wax. And very important, I underlined there, waved with palm branches. Remember when Jesus came on a donkey into Jerusalem, they were waving also palm branches, all right? And he came on a donkey. And here is Obama basically kind of mocking Jesus, doing the same, but in a statue of wax. And for those who don't know, Obama's armored vehicle, where the real Obama was in, was named the Beast. Okay? So on the left top corner, we have Obama's rising sun logo. In the Islam belief, it's the kind of return of the Mahdi, the sun rising from the west. Okay? And now that we have Luciferian Joe Biden as president, you can see if it's the same logo, but now the sun has risen. I'll leave that with you. You decide what that means. Now it shows the sun is fully risen. The system is now fully in control. The beast system. All right. Then we're going to jump to Obama again. He signed it off as "We remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger." Okay, Obama visits the World Trade Center, and you can see there he signed it. And now we're going to look at what the three W's mean. WWW is basically in the Hebrew alphabet. It is the 6th position, and the number for the W, just like we have numbers for our alphabet, like C is 3 and A is 1, for example, so does the Hebrew alphabet. So the 6th position in the alphabet is 6, and the number value is 6. So we have Va Va Va, and it's called, they name it, as you can see there, Va. It's in Arabic, Va 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 666. Okay, Obama, the president of the most powerful country in the world, wrote 666 ? Antichrist. I'll leave that with you guys. Yeah. Now we're going to go to a couple of last ones. We're almost there. And I've made a video for you guys. Also, it's called Lucifer's Language. Please go and have a look at it, where I explain to you how they use Strongs in coordinates with the Bible to mock the Bible so they can communicate with each other. So it's basically like they have all these Luciferian outposts with banners of war, all right? And we're going to look at these banners of war. So the first one here is 7-Up. Everybody likes the fizzy drink 7-Up, right? So 7-Up, we're looking at the number 7. The definition, if you Google Strong's 7, it means to perish, all right? So, and it says to perish up, to destroy up. And I've spoken about this. They want to destroy the negative energy. They want to destroy heaven. They're making war against heaven, okay? Then we have KFC. Everybody likes chicken. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Does it really mean Kentucky Fried Chicken? Well, let's have a look. K, if you Google Strong's 11, because K is the 11th number for the alphabet, the definition for that is a place of destruction or ruin, Abaddon. Abaddon is the king of the locusts. That's Lucifer, okay? Then we have F equals 6. The definition of 6 is to perish. Then we have C equals 3. 3 definition, Abaddon, angel of the abyss, okay? He is the king of the locusts. Oh, now we know what KFC is. Let's look at McDonald's. So McDonald's is a bit of a tricky one if you turn it to the side, because the Bible say they who work in darkness and turn they hide their symbols and things upside down. Well, McDonald's is number 13 if you turn it to the side. If you Google Strong's 13, the definition of that is destruction. Okay, and I've put it on the bottom for you. Google Strong's 11 or Strong's 6 or Strong's 9, etc. Okay, but Strong's 3, you have to look at it in the Greek version. All the others are Hebrew, and the reason why in the Greek version is because it tells you in the Revelation, in Greek, Abaddon. Okay, so then we look at Debonaire's pizza. Everybody like a nice hot warm pizza. So it's got the 3 little dots there. I didn't put it in here, but also the color is very significant, the blue and the red, which is DNA. But the number 3, the 3 dots definition, if you Google, like I say, Strong's 3, you'll see the definition of it is Abaddon, the angel of the bottomless pit. Okay, Lucifer. So let's look at some more. I have 7-11. Again, Strong's 7, definition, to perish. And then 11, place of destruction or ruin, Abaddon. Then we have this Luciferian guy here, who is definitely going to be a zombie on day 1, Mr. YG400. And he's got these shoes out. And you can see on the back of the shoes it says 400. Okay, lost angels, 400. Can you see that? So let's go. Strong's 400 definition is food. There you go. You are being hunted for food. Your positive energy are being hunted as a food source for the locusts in the pit. And I've covered this in my other videos before. Then he also says, if you pay me. So if you lift the tongues up for those shoes, you will see one says, if you pay me, and the other, so you have to pay him with your soul. And then it says, lost angels. Well, that is you. Jesus said, ye are gods, but you shall die like men. So if you've never heard this before, well, I'm glad to be the first one to tell you, but you are actually an angel. And you have this positive energy in you. And all these Luciferians out there are after your energy. And all the demons are after your energy because it feeds them. All right? There, I've put it on the bottom, locust for the pit. So let's go to the next slide. Almost done. And here we have Monster, the energy drink. Again, for Hebrew, Va is 6, position in the alphabet is 6, numerical number value is 6, and you have the 3 6s there on the bottle, as you can see, 666. And then it says monster. Well, who's the monster? Lucifer, the beast system. All right, unleash the beast, as you can see it on the bottom. You can't make this stuff up. Oh my God, you can't make it up. All right, COVID-19. This is my favorite one, and this is the last one in this video. C is the first letter of the alphabet, 3. So if you Google Strong's 3, you get again Abaddon, the angel of the bottomless pit. Ovid, if you go and look in the dictionary or Google up, Ovid means sheep. So that is you, okay? Because Jesus said, you are my sheep. Some of you are lost and some of you are, obedient. But I love you all, but you are my sheep. It's that simple. So Ovid is sheep. Then we have 19. If you Google Strong's 19, the definition is slaughter. So overall, the cryptic message for the pandemic, COVID-19, reads, Lucifer leading the sheep to the slaughter. All right, and folks, this is where we close off the video. I want to thank you for your time. I hope that you have learned something, and that you've actually gain some knowledge, because the Bible says, God says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And when he says my people, he's talking about the ones that actually chose him. He's not talking about the atheists, the Buddhists, the Hindus, the Luciferians, and all the rest of the other crowds. He's actually talking about the people who go to church and who made the commitment to choose him, but they're still falling for this stupid rapture idea. All right? And because of that, they lack knowledge and they'll be destroyed. Okay, they're going to think that God's going to come and save them from this great and terrible chaos that's going to happen as soon as they see this planet coming. But then their hearts are going to fail out of fear, because they're going to realize that they've been lied to, and that they're going to have to go through the same thing as we all do. They're going to see basically everything like it was in the movie Narnia or Lord of the Rings. You're going to see werewolves and Bigfoots and giants and orcs and goblins and all sorts of stuff running around. This whole planet is going to be a house of slaughter. All right? And it's good that you at least know what's coming, then you don't know what's coming. So go and watch my video, How to Survive 5 Months of Hell. I explain in that video exactly what you can do to make your chances better to survive. All right? And it's definitely not fleeing to New Zealand, buying property and bunkers. Okay, that's a no-no. You know, look, if you want to come to New Zealand or any other country and you got the money, that's good, cool. You know, that's what I did, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I didn't come here to hide from the Lord. Okay, there's a difference. I didn't come here to hide from the apocalypse. All right, that's a difference. So I just want to make that clear. Well, I wish you all well, and I'll end this video off. Be good, be kind, look after yourself, be kind to your neighbors, be friendly, always have a smile, you know. Enjoy that positive energy in you. Respect your parents, respect older people, okay? And then I would really give you my advice. You don't have to, it's up to you, it's your choice. Invite the Lord into your house, go see a pastor, get baptized, and get sealed. Be one of the 144,000 out of 9 billion, okay? Be one of those that are going to survive the apocalypse that's coming. See you later.